been such a great start to the day already.
Hey, this is Rick Reinbold, Village President.
Hi, I'm Julian Alexander, trustee of the Village of Richmond Park.
And I love the Mathell Givens Show.
Keep it here, keep it locked on the Mathell Givens radio show.
Sound like old record player. Sound like you rock the needle, sweetheart. Oh yeah. Yes, feels right. Nothing about tonight. It just feels right. Nothing about tonight. Right, so right. We're gonna have a real good show today. On part 2, right, boo?
All right. Yes, something about tonight.
Hey, you're jamming. Get our audience all warmed up, y'all. We're gonna have a good evening. We got a part 2 going and we're gonna dig a little deeper. Something about tonight, y'all.
Something about tonight, everybody. All right. Welcome. Woo! You listening to the Good News Show, and I am your host. I'm Mathell Givens. I'm one of those who love you the most. And I just want to say, good news listeners, welcome to the show. And it's about that time. Yes, it is. You know I'm your girl. So, hey, listen, you know we don't talk about no bad news on this show. All we do is talk about good news. Oh, my goodness. And I would like to thank you for welcoming me, my co-host, Van the Man, and our featured and our featured guests into your homes each and every week. This is the Good News Show. And I'm telling you, you may as well call a neighbor, call a friend, and let them know that we're on. And then get ready and like and share and tell everybody, look, there's no bad news coming on this show. None. But our prayers and our love is definitely geared towards all of the adversities that we are faced with throughout our world. We are praying for our President of the United States, and we are definitely praying for Ukraine, and we're praying for all those around the world that are decision makers. So listen, without any further delays, hey, everybody loves Van the Man, so let me bring him to the mic. Hey, Van, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing well, my love. How are you this evening? How are you?
Just absolutely phenomenal. You know I'm steady rising like a piece of dough. Yes, I am.
Oh, Chucky Ducky. Now, I love it when you let that one roll, my love.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you, I tell everybody week to week, I quote the book of Mama May chapter and verse, and I always pick up something from you every time, baby. I'm going to drop it on them and tell them it's my plum pleasing pleasure to be here this evening.
Well, I love you. We are happy to have you here with us because I'm telling you, you have become one of the favorites. I'm telling you, people they're overwhelming, always talking about Van the Man.
Oh, Shucky Ducky. Well, I sure would. I'm proof that the fruit never falls far from the tree. I'm so happy to be planted and rooted from Mama May Givens, and it is my it's my opportunity to get a chance to sow a seed back to somebody who's been so kind, been so vested, been so loving, and been just everything that a parent is supposed to be. And I just celebrate you every time I get a chance to come on the Good News Show.
Well, I want to thank you. Now that's good news. Because you didn't have to say all those things about your mama. Okay, but I really thank you, sweetie poo. But I just want to tell everybody, we have a legendary person on our show today. This is our second half, and she's coming back on tonight. And she had so much wisdom. She had so many beautiful stories to tell us. And we were intrigued. We ran out of time, but we did not run out of text. She still has so much in her to share. Her name is Professor Christine Houston. She's a phenomenal woman in my life and so many people's lives, whom I affectionately call Sweet Angel. She wrote the sitcom 227. She's a professor at Chicago State College. She teaches screenwriting and playwriting. She's an actress. I mean, she's one of the greatest actresses that anyone will ever encounter. She directs films. She directs her own films. She writes her own plays. She is also an author of a book entitled Laughing Through the Tears. Need I say any more? And let me just go forward and bring her on the show, the Good News Show, because she definitely has a lot of good news to bring to the show. So everybody, please welcome without any further delays, Professor Christine Houston. Welcome to the Good News Show.
Yes, yes. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm always excited and happy to impart the good news to you and your wonderful audience.
Thank
Your
you.
listeners, and those who can see us, I bid you a wonderful evening and tell you that God is so good. He is continuing to bless me with things that I never even dreamed of.
Yes,
Ooh.
yes, yes. That sounds like we're getting ready for a testimony. I mean,
As the song says, he opened doors that I could not see.
Ooh. Yes. And
yes.
no man can shut those doors.
That's correct.
Yes.
And I walked right through them. That's what he wanted me to do.
You're of royalty, sweetie. Definitely of royalty. Oh my. Well, Professor Christine Houston, as we left off on the first half of the show, you were telling us about your book, Laughing Through the Tears, and there was a special song that the Barrett singers had sung that always calmed your husband down called Jesus Will. Yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And he will. And he did.
Yes.
Come
he
on
did.
now.
Oh, wow. So we would like to go further with that. Hey, Van the Man, did you pick
Yes,
up on
sweetheart.
that song? Did you pick up on that song?
Shucky ducky. Mama May sent it to me earlier today, and I'm gonna tell you, I had a chance to lean back in my chair and let it marinate in my spirit. And I understand why it was so encouraging and why it was calming to him and why it provided such peace in your household. Because Jesus will. I mean, and it is such a blessing. And your opportunity to share that with the public is gonna touch a lot of people. I can't wait to sit back and read my own personal copy of Laughing Through the Tears. And thank you for taking the time and sending it through my beautiful wife. She gave it to me and I said, oh my goodness. I said, baby, I can't wait to sit down and read this. I get to ride the train home on Friday and that's gonna be a page turner.
All right. Well, I am very happy to have sent it to you. I'm very happy you received it. And I pray that it will be a blessing and help you to help others who are going through that same situation. And that's why I'm trying so hard now to film a pilot called Laughing Through the Tears, because it will be a television show that will bring information as well as entertainment to many of the caregivers are facing such a devastating disease with their
Yeah.
loved ones.
Mm.
I decided before I came on that since you were bringing me back, I will enlighten you and the audience of the things that are at the top of my bucket list. And I call it my bucket list because it's just producing and filming, directing and filming uh, 4 of the recent works. Not all of them are recent, but 4 of my most prominent works that God gave me the gift to be able to write. And so I'm going to take the time to give you a brief synopsis of each of my endeavors, and then also let you know what I am doing to bring them to fruition.
I love it. I love it. It's so important that we get a chance to get a peek behind the curtain. They say it's magic to everybody but the magician, and here you are, revealing the magician's secrets. Come on, give us a peek. Let us know what's going on in your
When
creative world.
When you said people, remind me of my son. He has a saying when I ask him something and he tells me, and I say, "How do you know?" And he said, "I peeked behind the curtain and I saw the wizard." So I'm gonna give you guys a peek and let you look at the wizard. He's gonna come full out in the open, one by one.
Yeah.
And you have to have a plan.
Yes.
And God gave me a plan for each of these productions that I am working on. Everyone knows I'm not a spring chicken anymore, so I can't waste any time. I can plan for the future, but I have to let you know I'm well aware that I am in my future. So number 1 on the list is getting the pilot done for Laughing Through the Tears. Laughing Through the Tears is a book that I wrote while attending Chicago State to get my BA degree back in the early 2000s. And I wrote it, I documented the things that I was going through while caring for my husband. We had been married for 45 years. He retired, and we were a very happy and blessed couple. We knew the meaning of marriage, and we knew the meaning of love, and we knew the meaning of family, and how to stay together, and how to make a marriage work. I have a skit. I write skits about everyday life that I experience. I have one called How to Make a Marriage Work. Of course, it's a comedy, and it's not totally true how to make it work, but it's entertaining. So I wrote the book based on the events that he was taking me through while I was a student at Chicago State University in my late 60s. I graduated at the age of 70. I walked across that stage after staying up night after night, after dealing with my husband, who had been diagnosed with dementia. And I had to come to grips with the fact that he was still in that body, and I still loved him no matter what he had become, because I had taken a vow that I would love and treat him faithfully throughout our marriage, and we intended to stay married until either one of us left the planet. And we did. He left first, and before he left, I documented things that he took me through and turned it into Laughing Through the Tears. And the book is totally based on what I did from the beginning of the diagnosis to the last month or 2 of his life that I had taken care of him. I'm not gonna give away any of the other secrets of the book. I'm just going to tell you, if you're really interested, you can pick up that book through Amazon, or in the future, whenever I do a production of any kind, there will be books pertaining to the particular production on sale, and other works will be available. For instance, when I do a production of 227, there will be Angels in My Life, a copy of that book. There will be a copy of Laughing Through the Tears for you to purchase at that production. So I would suggest that if you are truly interested in finding out what Laughing Through the Tears is all about, at the end of this Good News show, I'm sure that Mama May will give you the information how to reach me personally. And
Well,
if
you know what I'd like for you to do, give them that information of how to reach you, because this will be for their review over and over and over, and they can recap and get that information.
okay, well, I'm going to continue to tell them about these projects. And then when I finish the fourth project, I will let them know the information in order to reach me personally. And I respond to everyone, every email and every phone call. I give out my email address and I give out my phone number, because I know God protects me and nothing evil is going to use my information.
Amen. Amen. I
All
love
right.
it. Well, come on and keep captivating us with this wonderful
So,
story.
Laughing Through the Tears is my first project.
Yes.
227, which the television series was based on, my original play, 227, not 227. 227 is what they did with my play after Hollywood bought it. But the original play is going to be performed again in Chicago very soon. And it is about my childhood growing up in Chicago at 227 East 48th Street on Chicago's famous South Side. It documents 2 to 3 months in my life as a child. It is a period piece. When I say period, it encompasses life in the 1950s, just a slice of life. And it's based on my childhood, my story. And I tell all my students, you have a story. Be it your childhood, your adult life, an experience you went through, you have a story. And what I do is I motivate and inspire you to sit down and write your story so that it can be gotten correctly and straight from, as they say, the horse's mouth.
All right, all right, all right.
So 227 documents a bit of my childhood. It lets audience of older members marinate back to the 50s when they were younger. And it introduces that kind of life, what it was like, to the younger audience. They get to learn the things that we did, words that we said, and what they meant, and the kind of life that we lived and how we progressed from 1950 to 2000. And so
That's going to be absolutely amazing. I can't wait to get a look in that window, what that 1950s experience was like for those 2 or 3 months. That's going to be brutal.
I was 14 years old in the play. And
Wow.
Regina King, when it came to television, Regina King plays the part of my best friend. Now, when Hollywood bought it, they updated it from the 50s to the 80s. And my play remains in the 50s. So if
Wow.
you want to go back to the 50s, you can see my play. And if you want to stay in the 80s, well, there are plenty of reruns. And believe me, I profit from the reruns. Also, I let my students know there is money to be made behind the scenes in Hollywood, and the residuals can help you continue into life in your future.
All
That is
right.
So that's what
Yes.
27 is about. And I intend not only stage it again, but film the stage production. I have an attorney working on getting all of my rights back because after a certain number of years, I found out through the Library of Congress, and I let my students and other writers know that once you sell your product, you can always, if you live long enough, which God is blessing me with
yes.
longevity, I will be able to get my rights back, and who knows where I can go.
Oh, yes.
Woo!
Yes.
I'm
That
Yes.
is
Yes.
outstanding. Yes. I can't
am
hear you.
on staff, but you will get information because I do have private students. I don't have a lot of them, but because I take my time and I inspire and motivate. If I see that you are really, really bent on becoming a good writer, I'm 100% behind you. That's what I do. And that's what I believe that God has me still here to provide the teachings and the information to future writers. And the next on my project list is Lemon Tea, a script that I wrote for someone else. Their work, and they only hired me to write the stage play. And at first, I didn't want to do it, but they sent me the script, and I read it, and I fell in love with it. And it's all about being Black and proud of being in that scene. It's called Lemon Tea, Emancipation of Liberty. And it's about a little Black girl. I believe she's 10 years old, if I'm not mistaken. I worked on it several years ago. She hates being Black because she believes it's a punishment that God put on her because she believes she killed her mother.
Oh,
But in reality, her mother died in childbirth. And her father, having been so in love with her mother, can't get over the fact that he lost the love of his life giving birth to this child. And Satan has provided him with the means to continue to wallow in his self-pity and blame the child for his loss. And the child now blames God for making her Black because she killed her mother. It is a powerful story, and it is a story that needs to be told because of the things that are going on regarding racism in America today. So I am working toward getting that production done on stage, and eventually what the writer, the original writer wanted was a film of that production, Lemon Tea, The Emancipation of Liberty. The little girl's name, she was born on the 4th of July and they named her Liberty.
Oh, wow.
And not least, the last of my projects is Undying Faith. And I am so involved and into this production because in all the years of my writing, I never attempted to write a faith-based play. All of the ones that I attended and saw and read, depending on the music, the songs, instead of the story that the play or the piece is based on.
Yes.
And I felt that when I write a faith-based play, I wanted the non-believer. I already have captured the believer, but I wanted to capture as many non-believers by introducing them to a real life situation. Nothing was made up. It actually happened. And I had to have proof of this in order to become involved. Because number one, if I say that my play is based on a true story, then I want proof of that true story. And when the offer came to me, I did not know her. I met her through a group of people who I was working with on another project. And through a number of years, we became acquainted. And she had written a book. And she insisted that I read her book and hopefully turn her play into her book into a stage play. I read the book and I felt it was so much information in there. It would be hard for me to write a stage play based on the entire book. So I was so engrossed in one part of her book that proved that faith in God can move mountains and work miracles. I've always known that because I have a spiritual foundation. But I wanted to write a play that would bring out that fact. And this portion of the book, I felt, would make a wonderful play to inspire and motivate the non-believer and to entertain and reinforce the believer. And so as I contemplated telling her, who was persistent, and she was on a mission to get something done with her work, and I am a faithful believer and true educator that when I get a student who is inspired and motivated like she is, I need to become a part of that progress of that production. So, Angels in My Life is the name of the book. And I decided, since we're going to take a portion of the book and turn it into a stage play, that we needed another title. So together we came up with Undying Faith, because that
Yeah.
is exactly what this particular portion of this book of angels in my life. And I'm sure that even the believers, non-believers, have had angels in their lives, and they didn't realize that these were angels. Regardless of the fact that were non-believers, we all have angels that come into our lives. And until we believe and have the faith, we may never know or never experience the joy of knowing that God is so good that he will send angels in the darkest times of your life to
Come
help
on now.
move you through it. I know I sound like I'm preaching, and I've never aspired to become a minister. I administer to those who want to be administered to, and I share the things in my life that that will enable the non-believer to believe that the things that happened to me did not just happen, that I had nothing to do with getting it done, that the power that is greater than me or you stepped into my life, and I felt I was truly unworthy. I was not as faithful a believer as I should have been, but he knew my heart and my soul and my mind, and he continued to restore some of these gifts. And all I can say is thanks, glory be to God, that I
Yeah.
still have this gift that I can help others, that I can help others write their stories. And I didn't purposely leave Undying Faith to the end of this confession, as I might call it. It just happened to be the last big project that I've been working on. And I just have to let you know that I have the faith to know that one day our church members and faithful believers will be able to see this production, be enlightened and inspired by it, and that there will be many non-believers because of having witnessed and been a part of this production will become believers. And that's the only reason why, that's the main and only reason why I agreed to take on this project, because like I stated earlier, I had never seen a play that inspired and motivated the non-believer. And there may be a little music in this play, but the message is, I don't want music to overtake the message of the faith that this one woman had. And she gave me the proof of her faithfulness and allowed me to write her story into a stage.
Amen. Amen. Now
Yeah,
that's good news. That is good
that's good
news.
news. And I have to say, Professor Houston, most people, I don't talk a lot about me at this point, about what I've done at this point, about my book. I am going to bring forth an interview with me at one point. I just need to find the right interviewer. But I want everybody to know that I am the author of Angels in My Life. And Professor Houston and I sat down for over a year, and she wrote Undying Faith and brought it to fruition.
Yes.
So that's the story that she's talking about, a story that is in my book, Angels in My Life, but it's called The V Boys. And she wrote about my 3 sons. And I want to thank you, Professor Houston, for taking that time and to structure that story. And we named it Undying Faith. And I trust God. I trust God in you. I trust God for the story, for the journey, and that it will. That story is going to hit the 4 corners of the earth at its due time.
It is an amazing story.
Amen.
It-
Amen.
and if a non-believer goes to the theater and see this piece of entertainment, no more than 2 hours with a 15-minute intermission, and leave there not questioning his own disbelief, then I don't believe it will happen. I can't, it's not because I wrote it. It's because it happened.
Amen.
And I wrote it.
Yes.
Had
Amen.
it not happened, I would not have.
Well, Mother
And-
Houston, I gotta tell you, I'm watching you. I'm watching you help us walk it all the way out, and I am just in awe and inspired of how you just taken all of your experiences and been able to allow us to benefit from the fruit of your labors and the struggle and the triumph and the experiences that you had, and helping us being able to put it together into something that's going to really touch the heart of the unbeliever. And I happen to believe that the story is still being written, and that wouldn't it be something to tell them that Victor becomes the state representative? No.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
that's book 2.
Yes. Woo, because
Oh my God.
Victor is Van the Man.
Come on now.
In
The
the
same
story.
thing that was meant to harm you, God done turned
All
around
right.
and used
I'm
for your
reaching.
good.
I'm
Come on
reaching.
now.
I can't hug you, but I'm trying.
Oh, yes, honey. Yes. I'm hugging you.
And
But
because,
God, but God.
and because
I had
that,
goosebumps while you was talking. I was like, well, God said it. It's still
well,
right.
because I had 3 sons,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
it's ironic that there were 3 sons in this, so I could relate.
Yes.
It's not an accident
No.
that she found me. It was designed. It was through the will of God.
Yes. You know, I think about the day that, Lemon Tea was they was showcasing your skits. And I was there to bring on their MC. And you were in the room. I had never met you before. And when I did come down after introducing their MC, you were like, hey, who are you? I said, I'm Mathell Givens. You said, girl, you look like a star,
Look
I'd
at
like
the
to
angel
do some work.
whispering to you. That
Like do
angel.
some work. Yeah, I'd like to do some work with you. I said, well, I have this book. I said, may I give you a copy? You said, yeah. I said, okay, I'll do that. When I come back tomorrow, because it was a 2-day show, and I came back and I gave you the book. Such a heart, because a lot of people that's in your category that's been to Hollywood and done all the things that you have done, sometimes they're not receptive to a little old somebody like me. But I thank God for his shining light upon me, and that his shining light upon you pulled us together. And it was definitely divinely ordered that we would meet. And we've been together ever since. You, my big sister. And I really appreciate you. Yes, I do. You've taught me a lot.
Well, with the motivation and inspiration that I saw in you, and you didn't rest. When I first said no, I'm not able to do this. You said, well, you just need to read it. you just need to read the book. I said, well, every book that people give me, I don't read right away because I'm bombarded with people's work. And with what's on my plate, I try to eat it all. And I have to take things one at a time as I get them. So I did have to admit that I didn't read your book right away. I laid it down amongst the many books that had been sent to me by various people who met me and had written books. But your persistence, the fact that you kept calling me and you kept saying, have you finished reading it? And you wanted a feedback, and I gave you the feedback, and it did not deter you. You said, I still want you to take another look. I want you to see what it is that you can bring, because I had already let her know it was so many things, so many stories in angels in my life. And she wanted to let you know, the reader, know of all the different angels who had helped her through her life. And I don't think I was qualified to try to make that one book a stage play. But that one particular experience that she had kept calling to me, kept reaching out to my mind, kept whispering on my shoulder, if I might exaggerate. And it kept saying, read that story again. There's something in there for you. And I read it again. And then I decided, if this is true, you need to show me some proof.
Yes, you
I
did.
need to see some written proof that these things.
Yes, you did.
And when she showed me proof, when she showed me the pudding, and I saw the proof was in the pudding, it was on.
All right.
I said, at last, I can write a play about faith.
Yes.
And as I suspected, it's a long, hard road to get it done. But we know that this was not an accident.
Absolutely.
It is meant to get out there. And because it is undying faith, it will get out.
It will.
We
Funding
have-
will come.
We're not
Right.
telling you about undying faith. We're
Yes.
living
Amen.
undying.
Yes.
That's right. There's a lot of action behind that faith. There's a lot of action behind that
Yes.
faith.
Those who are within our, who have the listening ears to what we're saying today, if you are a believer and feel that this story needs to be told, I'm going to give you the information to reach me, and you can email me, contact me by phone, and we're going to get this thing together, and you can be a part of it. Because we need all of God's to get the word.
Amen.
Amen.
Oh, Professor Houston, I just love you to pieces, sweetie. We're going to need to wrap it up, but I want you to wrap it up in the way that you would like to wrap it up. I'm just intrigued over everything that you've had to say in regards to your book, 227, Liberty, Emancipation. I'm just overwhelmed, and I look forward to every one of your dreams coming true. I'm just so excited for you and for each of the writers. And I ask
Well,
God to
I-
touch.
I am a dreamer. I teach students young middle age, and even as old as me, that everyone needs to have a dream. Don't
Yeah.
give it up. Don't let anyone force you into giving it up. Don't let anyone tell you it's a dream, because you can make it a reality. All you need is faith, undying. Now, get a pencil and a piece of paper, or turn on your mic and record me. I will give you the information that you need to reach out and touch me. My email address, and I'm going to be slow and deliberate, is sugar do. That's one word. It was my mother's nickname, and I keep her alive in my heart and my everyday life. Sugar do is not case sensitive. SUGARDO. Sugar do at yahoo.com. Again, sugar do, SUGARDO, 227. Don't forget the 227 after sugar do, at yahoo.com. My phone number is 773-351-7583. If I do not answer, leave a voicemail. I promise I will return your call.
All right.
Absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much, sweetie. Thank you. Oh
that was
my.
absolutely wonderful.
You're welcome.
I love that tribute to Sugar Dude 227 at yahoo.com. Oh, good news, listeners. This has been a great show. I hope that you got some insight. We have the legendary Christine Houston with us this evening, and she gave us a recap on 4 of the most recent works that she has on her bucket list to make sure that we get them before she leaves us. She has a plan, and that she has laid out all of this idea about how to get it done. And she's showing us a record of working and a track record of consistency. Let's learn from her this evening. Y'all, she just wasn't telling stories. She was dropping gems. Love y'all to life. And Mama May?
Yep, that's it.
Come on, now. That's it, huh?
Woo, that just about wrap it up. Oh, everybody, you've been listening to the Good News Show, and I'm telling you, it's just been here I go, plum pleasing pleasure to be in your living room. Oh, we thank you for allowing us in there to share nothing but good news. And with our featured guest tonight, oh my God, our legendary Christine Houston has been, quite a treat. So listen, everybody, pick up her book too. Make sure you do that. Make sure you get her book. You can go to Amazon and get her book, Laughing Through the Tears. You definitely want to pick that book up. So,
Yes.
All right, it's been the Good News Show. And you know what? I just hate to leave you. I always don't want to go. I'm always wanting to stay around a little bit longer.
But we're going to see each other in some big celebration.
Yes, it's going to be a big old celebration.
All right.
Y'all heard it right here on the Good News Show from Professor Christine Houston. She said it's going to be a big celebration. Woo! Hey, Van the Man, take us on out, baby.
About tonight.
Yeah.
It just feels right. Nothing about tonight.
Woo!
Feels right. It's all right. Nothing about tonight.
Yeah.
It just feels right. Something about tonight feels right. Oh, all right. That was great, dog.
Woo! Something about tonight. Something about tonight. Oh,
Love you,
yeah.
Mama. Love you, Mama. Man.
Something about tonight. Mama love you too, baby. Cause it's something
Oh,
about
yeah.
tonight. Oh, everybody, we just love y'all so much. Oh my goodness. You all make this show the greatest. We love you until next week. Hey, make it right. Love somebody. Encourage
Love
somebody. Tell somebody nothing but good news. Share it, you all. We love you. Good night.
Good night, dog.